Hey everybody, Ronarray here, and my progression with Unarmed Monk is going absolutely great. I've been working on improving both damage and defense capabilities of the build. However, in today's video I want to focus on a few different things that you can utilize for your advantage right now. First off, and which is pretty important, is a mana fix. By adding only a few passives, you can make your mana almost infinite in all situations and fix all your mana issues whatsoever. It is pretty simple and I'm going to explain how to do that. On top of it, there's also a very cool skill that you can utilize to almost double your damage in some particular situations. And it is heavily recommended right now because amount of the damage that you can receive from it is absolutely insane. Let's go and I will be able to explain how you can use it. It's going to work for any kind of a monk build that you can play, and I definitely recommend to try that. So first off, let's start with the mana. The tech to fix your mana is very simple, and right now you can easily utilize it on almost any kind of monk build, including all of mine. So to get that, you need to invest 2 points reaching Walker of the Wilds. We're currently going to the right in the tree anyway, so I heavily recommend to just reach for Walker of the Wilds and spend 2 points for it. On top of it, you will need a source for a leech. I heavily recommend as a source to run basic ring with Sapphire, which is currently providing just some stats, and leech physical attack damage as mana. Walker of the Wilds will give you mana leech recovers based on elemental damage instead of physical. So one stat right here will give you a very stable source of mana leech with all your attacks. And it's going to completely solve all mana issues that any kind of monk builds can have at the moment. So I definitely recommend to spend those 2 points. And talking about other changes in the tree, there is a big recommendation going up for Pure Power. Pure Power right now is a very strong node which can improve your damage significantly. So I heavily recommend to just go for it and spend enough points. You can also get a little additional intelligence on the way, because that way you can get more damage from Pure Power itself. My character currently has 195 intelligence, which is a pretty decent number. And with that amount of intelligence, Pure Power is making perfect sense as well. On the way you can also get like lightning damage, which is pretty nice and usually much better than, for example, just 10% attack damage bonuses. If you want points to reach Pure Power, you have a few different options where to get them. First, you can get rid of Alternating Current, especially since you currently have a mana fix and your amount of mana is absolutely fixed and you should have no issues with mana whatsoever. Going instead of Alternating Current for Pure Power is making perfect sense. Next step, Concussive Attack is also could be replaced with Pure Power because it can provide more damage to you. However, I prefer to get additional points just from leveling up and respeccing Alternating Current by itself. The rest of the trees, you can see it's staying the same. You're just adding 2 points here for Walking of the Wilds and you're investing more up here. So that's pretty much it, and so far it's been all changes to the tree that I currently recommend. And then when you have even more points, I recommend to just invest into Energy Shield to get more defenses or take basic critical damage bonus nodes. You can get them practically everywhere, at least here, for more damage in general. Now let's talk about the skills that we can utilize and the skills that I'm currently using. So for that, I recommend to repick the Trinity with Elemental Conflux. Elemental Conflux can give you huge damage boosts. So for example, my Storm Wave jumping from 75 to 123 right now, you can see it. So 123k of damage on my Storm Wave with Elemental Conflux set to Lightning. It's going to give you random Conflux, so sometimes Lightning is dropping, as you can see, and it's going to be replaced with Fire or Cold, but pretty often you will have a Lightning bonus and your damage will be very big. So for example, as you can see right now, it's changed to Cold and I'm falling from 123k to only 75. However, Conflux, as you can see, it's Lightning again, going to be up pretty often, and it's definitely recommended because just the bonus for the damage is absolutely insane. So the only passives that I recommend to currently run for Conflux is Fire Mastery. You don't really need anything else, so running Conflux and Fire Mastery is making perfect sense too. And another interesting thing that I'm currently recommending is adding Convalescencce to the build. So Convalescencce itself, together with like prolonged duration, cooldown recovery and rapid casting, set to the right mouse button, is going to help you out to regenerate your energy shield in the bad situations. So at the current moment, I definitely recommend to run it because it's going to boost your defenses significantly. Just click Convalescencce when you need to regenerate your energy shield for better survivability. And Elemental Conflux is absolutely awesome because 70% of more damage with affected element, which is lightning, is absolutely insane in the current set. And the bonus is so big that it's much better than Trinity that gave only approximately 9% of the damage. Compared to it, having 70% of the damage, even if it's not really that stable, is absolutely worth it almost in all situations. The rest of the gems are pretty much staying the same, so really just like running Crackling Palm, Stormwave, Herald of Ash, Elemental Conflux, Wind Dancer and Convalescencce. Another reminder why we are using Wind Dancer: we currently don't have a lot of evasion, and Wind Dancer is here only for one big thing: to push enemies away from you and to make sure you're not getting overwhelmed. For that you will need more spirit, so make sure you're cutting it. I also changed a few small items, and I'm currently looking at other options to replace Chevron Satchel. However, those still will require some testing, and I'm not 1000% sure which option I will go with. Another interesting thing that can boost your DPS right now is also Talisman of Cirrus. So in your gloves, doesn't matter if you're running Thunder Fist or Rare Gloves, you can just run Talisman of Cirrus for 8% of increased attack speed, and that's a pretty nice bonus because it's hard to get attack speed from other places. For the body armor, I'm currently reaching for higher energy shield to have even more critical chance on my wave, and my critical is around 72% together with increased main hand critical damage bonus, which is feeling very nice too. And the last question is pretty much armor by itself. After some testing, I would say that hybrid armor is still making some sense. Together with only energy shield, I wouldn't run only evasion on the armor with the build at the moment, so you practically choosing between running energy or evasion plus energy. I believe that for only energy shield armor, your crit is going to be much higher, so it's much easier to cap it, and you can get cool bonuses such as faster start of energy shield recharge, which is pretty nice. But if you're going to run hybrid armor, like evasion plus energy shield, you can get better tooltip damage because game is giving you a lot of attack speed for it. But your situation with mana and spam could be a little less comfortable. I'm going to experiment a little more with hybrid armor later on, and I will update the build if there will be a proper decision on like what is better. And another interesting question is pretty much what we can run in Stormwave. Some people are currently telling me that Deliberation could feel questionable because you're walking much slower when you're using it. And in that case, I have a solution if you really don't want to be slower with Deliberation. So instead of running Deliberation, you can just run Rigveld's Ferocity. So it's going to give you practically the same amount of damage if you're going to set your weapon set to 2 instead of 1. So 1, the damage will be much lower, and 2, the damage is going to be alright. Just make sure that you always have like second weapon set allocated for Unarmed, and that way Rigveld's Ferocity can give you like additional bonuses with less attack speed but more damage. It's giving 30% more damage, but taking 10% less attack speed, so it could be a little less comfortable. But compared to Deliberation, you're getting harder hit by itself, so just one hit is going to be harder. And Deliberation also giving you a penalty to movement speed, while Rigveld's Ferocity is not giving you any penalty. So if you will just base our judgment on the tooltip, as you can see the tooltip with Deliberation is bigger, and it's a little smaller with Rigveld's Ferocity. However, Ferocity is still looking like a very good option, and I definitely recommend to try to use it. And if you're absolutely sure that you want to use Rigveld's Ferocity, in that case, make sure that you have rapid attacks to compensate for you losing speed, especially if you don't have a hybrid armor. You can get even bigger amount of additional damage for your build. and it's going to make even boss fights much more trivial. Pretty soon I'm also going to work on adding additional skills to the build, maybe looking into the flicker, or doing an ice strike version too, so stay tuned for it, and thank you all for watching. Hope that updates are helping you out to improve your builds as well. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to support me, and see you next time. ronarray out.